Welcome to our tailgate. Yeah, step over here and put that tailgate down. Yeah, I remember Grandpa and Dad doing that. They would say, let's put the tailgate down here. We parked in the shade and we'd have a conversation. Sometimes the conversation was about what we had done in the morning and maybe what we were going to do in the afternoon, and sometimes it was about life. And these tailgate sessions are about life, and they're also about helping you be really successful. So thanks for joining me here today. You might want to grab yourself a piece of paper and a pencil. If I asked an average person today to describe how they're feeling, you might hear the F word, fearful. Yeah, they're fearful. You can think of a lot of people being fearful right now in regards to the unknown and in regards to the coronavirus. And I wanted to just share with you an opportunity for all of us to build our characters and to build our faith, because there may be a reason why this is happening. So I turned to chapter 5 in Romans and verse 3, and there it says this, and listen carefully to these words. It says, not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. You think about some of the key words that you might have remembered and reflected on. You heard the word rejoice in our sufferings. Really? Yeah, I want you to be rejoiceful in regards to maybe what you're missing today and understand why it might be happening and how you can grow. Because in that, it said that our suffering produces endurance. And whether we're runners or whether we're dads and husbands and great agronomy people, we need more endurance. And that endurance produces what? It produces character. You might have heard that we're not going to take our belongings to heaven, but what we sure will take will be our character. And that character produces hope. What I'd like you to do right now is to think of someone in your family or a neighbor. It might be a coworker. It might be somebody that you need to reach out to today that needs that reminder of hope. Because as you begin to pour that hope into their hearts, your heart will grow and be flowing, will overflow in regards to how you're going to feel. We also might be fearful in regards to how do we make calls with growers right now. There's that in the back of our mind, that fear of, how are they going to take that? And there's so much going on. And boy, the last thing I want to do is to share an idea where they may have to spend money. I mean, didn't you see, David? I mean, grain's going down like the stock market. How would I ask them to spend any money? What I want to share with you is that, that fear is not only holding you back, but might be holding them back. And you need to provide them some hope in regards to growing the abundance of grain that they're going to need to help grow their farming operation. So as you pick up that piece of paper, I want you to reflect on the 4 steps that I'm going to provide you that are going to help you open up almost every one of your calls. The first thing I want you to do is to write the word real down. Yeah, I want you to be real. I want you to be real, and I want you to be concerned about their family. I want you to ask them about their operation. I want you to ask them about their cow and cattle herds. I want you to ask them how they're feeling. I want you to ask them where they're hurting. Okay? Second thing I want you to do, this is a statement I want you to write down, and that is, I've been thinking about your farm, and then include their name. So it might sound something like this. I've been thinking about your farm, Adam. Did you hear that pause? That 6 seconds of pause? I'd like you to pause. Now, 2 things are going to happen. Either they're going to say, well, golly, what have you been thinking about? Well, the second thing they're going to do is they're not going to say anything, but they are going to hear the silence. This is what I call a big statement of engagement. I've been thinking about your farm. The third thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down, can I be honest with you? The third step is you're going to ask the question of your growers, can I be honest with you? It's another engagement statement, but it's a rapport and trust builder. Now, what do you think a farmer of yours, a customer of yours is going to say? How do you think they're going to answer? I think they're going to answer is, well, yeah. And then you're going to say something like this, and listen to these words. I've been really struggling. I didn't know if I should call you. I didn't know how open you might be about protecting and growing your yields on some of your farms. But as I reflected, I knew I needed to make the call. I knew I needed to reach out to you. What I'd ask you to do now, Mr. Farmer or Adam, is I'd ask you to, what I'm going to bring up, at some point, there's going to be a voice in your mind and going to tell you, no, don't do it. I don't want to hear any more. And when you hear that voice, could you turn that voice down for a second and really reflect on why I might be going over this with you? Could you do that for me? God, you know what you're going to hear. We're really blessed that we get to work with real people, real farmers, people that really care about their communities and our nation and God. You know what they're going to say. Then the fourth thing you're going to do is you're going to ask them to visualize 2 farms. The reason why we ask anybody to visualize things is because when they visualize the farm, they also visualize an opportunity. They also visualize maybe a challenge that they need to overcome. And when you ask them to visualize that, now you're going to have a mind that's open to what you're going to bring to them. Okay? So this is how it's going to sound. And of course, you're going to want to practice it. And of course, you're going to want to make it your words. Now, for the first step, I just want you to know, the first step, I'm going to be rather short. But that's asking about their family. So let's just try it. Adam, I bet you wondered why I called. Well, yeah, David. Well, the reason I called is, just so much concern and unknown regarding the coronavirus and markets and so on. I just wanted to check in with you and see how you were doing. Well, I'm doing okay, David. Well, that's good to hear. How's your dad doing, Adam? Well, he's kind of shut in right now, but he's doing pretty well. That's good to know. Adam, I've been thinking about you and your family and your farm here recently. Well, what have you been thinking about? Well, it's been hard, and can I ask you a question? Well, yeah, David. Well, can I be honest with you? Well, sure. Well, I've been struggling. I didn't know if I should even call you. What do you mean you didn't know if you should even call me? Well, I didn't know how open or how you might take my call, because what I'm going to ask you is to potentially invest a few more dollars to protect and grow some yields on just some of your farms, because I'm concerned that if we don't do this, you might not raise as much yield, and you might not be able to make up some of the revenue on some of those farms just because of where grain is right now. But I know that part of your mind right now is going to say, golly, you're going to shut down. I don't even want to think about it, David. I know you're thinking that. But could you do me and your farm a favor? What's that, David? Well, when you hear that voice, could you just kind of tone it down, kind of put it off to the side for a second? I mean, I want to get to some of those questions. But what I'd like you to do is to really think about how this might impact your farm right now. Could you do that for me? Well, I guess, David. Well, the first thing I'd like you to do is I'd like you to visualize 2 of your fields. 2 fields. I'd like you to think of a couple fields that you think have the highest yield potential. They may be fields where you really need to ring the bell this year in regards to yield. Or it may be that it might be fields that were in prevent plant mode last year, and you're maybe concerned, what's going out there in regards to microbial activity in the soils. Do you have those in mind? Now, what you've just done, gang, is you've just heard the 4 steps in my words to open up the conversation. To open up the conversation that's really going to allow you to now move into your PMMTs. And that would be, Adam, there'd be 3 reasons why you would consider learning more about how our tissue sampling program could help you, would you be curious to know what those are? Guys, there's a lot of fear in this world today. And one of the things that I don't want you to be fearful of is your own ability, your own heart in regards to caring for farmers. And I want you to open up your mind. I want you now to begin to help growers and do it without fear, but with a lot of confidence. Guys, it's just been great to visit with you on the tailgate today. God bless you.